Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny serves as a tribute to the series, but it plays it a little bit too safe. I don't see this one living up to the original 3 trilogies, but it's not horrible. I mean, I still enjoyed what I watched. In terms of action, there's a lot of chase sequences that go on here, and they're really well made, blending CGI with the practical effects and giving a more grounded feeling, at least in the last 2 parts of the movie. The beginning, the first act, kind of starts off with a CGI younger Harrison Ford, and it is very reminiscent of, I want to say Crystal Skull, but we'll get back to that here in a little bit. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of seeing the CGI face. We haven't reached that uncanny valley yet, but the VFX artist did a good job where it counted. I mean, there are seamless scenes where things are happening and you actually cannot tell if it is CGI or actually practical. When we do get to current Harrison Ford without the CGI face, things become a little more cartoonish. Really, when we got these villains that are cold-blooded and will kill people on sight without a moment of hesitation, and then whenever they encounter Indiana Jones and they miss every bullet or they stumble across things, there are times where I feel like Indiana Jones himself is going to pull out a bag of marbles and drop on the floor so that we can see a slip and slide Home Alone skit go on in the movie. I mentioned before how this movie serves as a tribute to the series, and also how like the prequel CGI Harrison Ford has action scenes that remind me of Crystal Skull. And really, as we're going from the beginning to the climax to the end of the movie, it's almost like we're going backwards in time and we're experiencing each part of the Indiana Jones films, and there's references put everywhere, from action scenes being more CGI to them being more practical at times, to just even more things that are just abrupt and in your face, quotes from the original movies, or subtle things that will always get you to point and make you remember the adventures that we've been on throughout this whole series. The references are unique enough so that the movie stands alone, and they never get in the way of the plot. However, there are 3 very large action sequences that take up a good chunk of the film. Let me kind of break it down for you so that we can get a better picture of itself. If the movie's broken down in thirds, the first third is introduction, letting us know where everyone is at, just world building and telling us what's going on and what mysteries we have to solve. The second one is the action itself. It takes up a good third of the movie, and then the last third is taken up by kind of the solving of the puzzles and deciphering the history behind everything so that we can get to the relic itself. Because of this, it leaves little room for actual character development or growth. So we get an introduction to our characters. We know that they are not happy where they are at currently in their lives, and mainly just for Indiana Jones, and this is kind of mirrored upon with his goddaughter. But later on, when they have to face those inner conflicts, because we never saw them face them really beforehand, it doesn't resonate with us as the audience too well. So even though we get the conclusion that we were expecting, it's not something that we can feel or relate too much. So, nonetheless, the movie provides a fantastic experience for anyone who's been fans of the series. A plot that is fun to unravel, easy to follow, with wacky and crazy moments that are to boot. Villains that feel old school, and Easter eggs that will make anyone of any age at any point of the series point and reminisce. That's why I gotta get... You know what? The score for this movie doesn't even really matter. What actually matters is, where does this movie place in the 5 films that have been made in total? That's why we're going to go into Mario's somewhat official Indiana Jones tiers list. Hey, I'm Mario. I like playing video games, watching movies, and Dungeons and Dragons. If you keep getting me in your suggested videos, or you're watching this video right here, consider subscribing. It goes a long way. Thank you. Now, it's kind of a tie for me between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade, but I gotta put The Last Crusade in the top spot, leaving Raiders of the Lost Ark number 2, Temple of Doom makes it number 3 for me, and our Dial of Destiny goes into the 4th spot, leaving Crystal Skull at number 5. Really, you can't do worse than Crystal Skull. Anyways, Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny is a 7 out of 10. Play nice.